Please welcome to the ring now the challenger from Birmingham, Malcolm Melvin.
Malcolm Melvin, age 33, bidding tonight to become the oldest British welterweight champion in history. Kirkland Lang was 32 years of age. This fellow would be a year older. Lang actually fought in this ring, but he's coming in at 5 days' notice and would start a big underdog, Glenn.
Yes, he would. He would be a big underdog, but often, you come in at short notice and you haven't had time to worry about it, and that gives you an added advantage. So, this is a great chance for him. He's got it unexpected. He's got to try and take the bull by the horns and just go for it.
Fantastic chance for him. Now a circuit pro, Malcolm Melvin, by getting his chance at the big time again tonight.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the champion from Gravesend, Dhami.
First defence of the title tonight for Dhami, who was in a thriller on the night he became champion. He had Derek Roach on the floor 5 times. He was down himself as well, but it was an excellent performance from him. But now comes the hard part, holding on to the championship.
Yes, it's always harder. Once you win it, the hardest part is defending it. But I think in a fight like this, winning it gives him so much more confidence. It just builds you up, puts you on a new level, and you'd expect him to really feel like he's on a bigger level than Malcolm Melvin tonight.
Here's the tail of the tape for this fight. Dhami will have a big reach advantage. You can see that at the bottom of the caption there, both on or inside the welterweight 10.5 stone limit. Dhami much taller and 5 years younger as well. He's got quite a bit going for him here. Melvin made his debut 15 years ago. This is 37th fight tonight. Dhami has been a pro for 8 years. A lot more rounds for Melvin. Better knockout percentage for Dhami, though neither of them are sledgehammer hitters.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to Wembley Conference Centre, the venue for legends. Will you please welcome into the ring now our boxers for our chief supporting contest. Panax Promotions, in association with Munro Highland Brothers, proudly present the British Welterweight Championship, sponsored here by Pug Athletic and SecondsOut.com. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for the very best ringside seat in the business. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control here present with us at ringside. Our steward in charge is Mr. Cecil Ross. Timekeeper at the bell from London, Greg Hugh, and referee in charge of the action, and one of the leading referees in the world today, star referee John Keane of Wellingborough. They are the officials, and here are the contestants. Firstly, and introducing to you, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the green trunks and weighing in at 10 stone and 7 pounds. Bringing a 36 fight record, 25 wins, 3 inside the scheduled distance, 9 defeats and 2 draws. Coming to the ring as the former Midland area and All-Ireland light welterweight champion from Birmingham, Malcolm Melvin. And across the ring, the champion, he's wearing the black trunks, weighing in at 10 stone and 6 pounds. Bringing a 19 fight record, 14 wins, 5 inside the scheduled distance, 4 losses and 1 draw. Coming to the ring as the current British welterweight champion, making his first defence from Gravesend, the champion, Dhami. So sports fans and Sky fans, let's get the action underway then. 12 rounds of boxing for the British Welterweight Championship.
John Keane, the referee.
Both received you in the dressing room, your instructions in the dressing room, you know what I expect of you. Shake hands, come out boxing.
This famous old title that goes back to 1903. Champions have included Ted Kid Lewis, John H. Stracey, Colin Jones, Lloyd Hannigan, Kirkland Lang, and now Harry Dhami is the title holder. Can Melvin do anything at all to trouble him here? Coming in at very late notice. Has to be the question of whether he's in shape for the full 12 rounds. Look how much taller Dhami is with his back to you in the black trunks. From Gravesend in Kent. Still has to work as a machine operator in a cable factory to make up his money, but maybe if he can move on from this level, he can give up the day job. Problem for Melvin is going to be to get in range. In his career in the past, he's won the Midlands title and the All-Ireland title. In fact, he's only lost one of his last 9, but that was when he was blown away in 2 rounds by Junior Witter at light welterweight. Most of his best performances have been at that lower weight too, so it's all a bit of a worry for Melvin.
Yes, it is. That makes a big difference. The physical advantages are all in Dhami's favour. Melvin has to try and get inside those long arms and really bustle Dhami out of this fight, and that's going to be tough coming in at short notice.
Working there, Mal. Get out.
It's coming rather dangerously close together there as they worked in close. Melvin a little free with his use of the head. Dhami, I think, has already worked out that he can dominate this and be the boss from the outside and then take it on from there.
Watch your head, Melvin.
Already a warning from John Keane to Melvin about use of the head.
Well, Melvin might want to get a bit rough in there, basically just to try and put Dhami out of his stride and just upset the rhythm of Dhami.
Yes, I think that'll be definitely part of the battle plan, to try to bustle him up, rough him up a little.
That's what he can't allow Dhami to do, is just Dhami start to get him on the end of that jab and pick him off at long range.
Usually looked competent and pretty durable, Dhami, in his career so far, but he does have 4 defeats in his record. In fact, he lost 4 of his first 8, so he's turned his career around, and he had 3 defeats in a row at one stage, so he looked to be going nowhere. Melvin may draw some encouragement from that.
All the times he's getting through this left hook to the body, Melvin, that's what he will want to do, being a shorter man.
He's having his moments in this first round, Melvin, not doing too badly at all, really. That's a great jab from Dhami. He really had a ramrod quality about it, and that jab has probably been just enough to nick this first round. Welcome back to the Wembley Conference Centre. It's good to be back in here. Nice plush arena, almost too plush for boxing, isn't it?
It's very nice. Makes a nice change, doesn't it?
We're the only ones who don't have comfy seats.
There's the good jab. Good jab from Dhami, really putting it out ramrod style.
Second round. Black trunks of the defending British welterweight champion Harry Dhami here. 28 years of age, and Malcolm Melvin of King's Heath in Birmingham, who's trained by one of our best featherweights of the modern era, Pat Cowdell. Dhami had 6 weeks off from his job to prepare for this fight. It's just before that he rather treated boxing as a hobby.
Watch your head,
Becoming
Melvin.
British champion.
Right!
Now I think he realises he could make something more of his career.
Well, winning a title like the British certainly gives a fighter a big lift in confidence.
Melvin getting in with a good little shot of his own there, and he's working well quite effectively to the body, particularly with the left hook, Melvin.
Right. Get back. Take the side now. Melvin's having quite a bit of success. He's getting in close well, and he's letting his punches go. And he's just finding weaknesses in the defence of Dhami.
Dhami likely to be the better conditioned of the two, bearing in mind how little notice Melvin had for this, because Dhami was originally due to defend against Spencer McCracken, and then Paul Burns of Liverpool. Both those two fights fell through. It's not a bad start, this, though, by Melvin.
Well, he's trying time and time again to get through that left hook to the body, and I think that's just starting to trouble Dhami a bit.
Less authoritative with the jab as well in this round, Dhami. Melvin's managed to get in closer. That'll help him, obviously.
So Dhami just not getting the authority with that jab anymore.
John Keane having a very quiet word with Melvin. It's probably about use of the head. It's not the first time he's mentioned it either. He's just letting him know that he's on the case.
What he is managing to do, Melvin, is upset the rhythm of Dhami and stop that jab going out with as much authority.
Dhami's getting to work better, but it's late in the round. That's another good left hook to the body, though, from Melvin. He's managing to slip some of the jabs as well, Melvin.
More American football for you on Sunday. Two games lined up for you this weekend. The Washington Redskins against the Baltimore Ravens, followed by the Arizona Cardinals against the Philadelphia Eagles. American football action exclusively live Sunday night from 6, Sky Sports 3. Dunn Schwer at Wembley later. First, the British welterweight title fight. Back to Glenelg.
Thanks, Paul. You probably heard Paul say earlier it's a sellout here tonight. Notice 1 or 2 empty seats, but because a lot of people are in the bars, it's filling up all the time now. Schwer and Dunn still to come, cracking top of the bill. And this British welterweight title fight has main support. Black trunks, remember, of Harry Dhami, the defending champion.
And Melvin had a better second round, just getting inside the jab and roughing Dhami up. But Dhami now trying to get back behind that jab, and really that's a key for the fight for Dhami. He needs to get Melvin on the end of that.
Come on, Malcolm!
Maybe just needs a little more variety, Dhami. Has a good right hand there. He kind of walked onto it, Melvin. Picked that shot well, Dhami.
Get back! Get rolled back. Come on, Malcolm!
And that's what Dhami needs to do, use that jab and bring the right hand in and just start hitting Melvin with lots of clean punches.
Get closer!
Dhami just taking control a little in this third round so far. You probably noticed Melvin's got Scottish and Irish flags on his shorts. His Irish mother and his Scottish father, the reasons for that. But born in Birmingham.
better from Dhami now. Putting out that jab time and time again. And not able to slip it.
Just having to eat this jab a little more now, Malcolm Melvin. Needs the head movement to be slipping those if he can, and then rolling and dipping inside with those body shots. Easy for me to say sitting here.
Well, you said it so well. But he's going backwards more in this round, Melvin. And I think it's, you know, what he needs to do is push Dhami backwards. He needs to keep right in front of Dhami, not retreat and give Dhami that extra room.
I think if Dhami does come through this, the scheduled defence against Spencer McCracken will probably be back on. Seems to be the word anyway. Dhami right in control in this round. I just wonder if Melvin is already beginning to tire a little.
It's a much better round, this one, for Dhami.
Yes, that was definitely his. Coming up here, a scoreline from Wembley tonight. There we are, 24-2. That's jabs landed.
Quite a big difference, isn't it? He's working that jab well. The third round was a good one for Dhami, just getting control. You do wonder if Melvin was starting to tire because he didn't push the fight as much in that round.
Here's round 4. Can Melvin come back? Certainly gave it a good go early on. It had an ice pack on the right eye of Melvin, so that jab is definitely taking its toll. And Pacquiao was telling him, get in there and rough him up.
Well, that's what he was doing in the first 2 rounds, and he's doing it successfully.
Dhami looking quite controlled. He's pretty experienced now, 8 years of professional since he was 20, and he's been boxing since he was a 9-year-old boy, he tells me. Don't think his family liked it much, certainly his mum had to keep it a secret for a year or 2.
He's starting to just change the repertoire a bit now, Dhami, getting a bit of confidence, bringing left hooks and right hands in more and more.
Get out, don't lean on Melvin.
Dhami is the first man of Indian ancestry to become a British boxing champion. Both his mother and father from India. He says he's very definitely British, but proud of his roots. Looking to start to bring in the right uppercut as well, Dhami now.
He's getting the odd success, Melvin, but Dhami very much in control and finding Melvin easier and easier to hit.
Melvin pretty puffed up around the eyes. Particularly the left eye, which was having that ice pack treatment I was telling you about between the sessions. Dhami will want to look good doing this if he can tonight. Maybe get people talking about him a little. He's one of the more unglamorous British champions. Not too many people know him, but that would be true of quite a few pros around at the moment. Good right hand, wasn't it, by Melvin?
Yes, he's getting the occasional success when he's in close and he brings short little hooks on.
Step back.
You know, that's where Melvin has, you know, most of his success.
Well, hold him, Melvin. Let him go.
Well, he's making Dhami work for it all right, Melvin. Second chance to become a British champion. He went for the light welterweight title in '95 and lost to Ross Hale.
Right.
He was down 3 times in the first round that night, so that was a brave effort. Coming up later, the big dust-up between Billy Schwer and Colin Dunn, 2 of our leading lightweights, and Colin Dunn is in his dressing room now talking to Ed Robinson.
Colin, you've waited months for this fight, just minutes to go now.
Yeah. What's the question?
How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling confident, feeling good. Yeah, feeling nice and relaxed. Looking forward to the job, you know.
How do you think it's going to go this evening?
Very hard to say, you know. All I can say is I'm going to come out after whatever rounds it is, the winner. Whether it be 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
You've been desperate for this chance, haven't you?
I wouldn't use the word desperate, but I think Billy's a bit more desperate than me because I'm the champion. He's coming to get me, he's coming to take my title. So I'm desperate to keep hold of the title. Yeah, most definitely.
Thank you.
Dunn just seems a bit nervous back there, doesn't he? But I'm told he does suffer from a lot of pre-fight nerves. It happens with some fighters and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, I must say it happens with all of them. Just some hide it better than others.
You'd know, Glenn. Here's the 5th round. Glenn's still a bag of nerves doing the commentaries.
I was just sitting next to you, Ian.
Let him go, Melvin. Let him go.
Dhami still looking to try to bust up Melvin from the outside and then maybe move in with some more damaging combinations, I would think, later on in the fight. That seems to be the game plan. It's a sensible one for him.
But I think it suits Melvin more to try and come forward. You know, when he starts dancing around and going backwards, that's where he starts getting picked off.
Come on, Mel. Work will get out. Work will get out.
Dhami will be very anxious to prove to people that his British title victory over Derek Roach was no freak or fluke. There are people lining up for that title, like Spencer McCracken and maybe down the road Neil Sinclair from Belfast.
It's getting a bit messy in this round. He's starting to tie up more and more. And maybe that's down to Melvin starting to get tired. He's not able to work as well inside.
Let him go, Melvin. Let him go. Right! Get back.
Not really being able to dominate from a long range, Dhami, in the way that he would want. Melvin still getting there occasionally with these body punches.
Stop boxing! Stop boxing!
And the head's there.
Neutral corner.
Now then, that was Melvin again. Very free with the use of the head. And he's deducting a point here, I think. John Keane, he's going to take a point off because he's told him about it time and again. 1 point off. He's told Pat Caldell in the corner as well.
Well, that was obvious what he was trying to do there, Melvin. He didn't really hide it. It was a blatant butt.
Right!
Which hints at a bit of desperation, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. He's not getting his own way. He must be getting tired of getting hit with that jab.
Dhami something a particularly eye-catching right to the body as well. Needs to be careful, Malcolm Melvin, with that head now, as John Keane has seen it all. His use of the head, you have to say, has been a little cynical.
Right! No, you don't.
Welcome back to the Wembley Conference Centre. Malcolm Melvin looking pretty tired in the corner, marked up around the eyes, and with a point deducted for, well, butting, really.
Yes, it was. It was blatant. There he is, just really pushes his head in the face of Harry Dhami. And John Keane to read the right.
Sixth round. Dhami in the black trunks, making his first defence of this British welterweight crown. Upright stylist. Sometimes in the past has just suffered from a low work rate. Trained by Brian Hill and managed by Terry Toole, who will also be with Colin Dunn later on.
Well, he's starting to pull away a bit with it now, especially with that 10-year round, with the point being deducted from Melvin. So it's getting harder and harder for Melvin, especially getting picked up at long range. He needs to get into this fight somehow.
Melvin has had to resort to one or two tactics that you won't find in the Queensberry rules.
Right! Get back. Hold him, Melvin, let him go.
It's got a bit messy at times, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, but I think that's a lot down to Melvin, who will fall in if he's not getting his punches off. And that'll get worse and worse as he gets tighter. This is where Dhami's got to show championship quality to get him off, and you get his hands free and start using that jab, keep him in range.
Melvin had good success with one left hook a few seconds back. But he's only ever scored 3 knockout wins in a 15-year pro career. So not even his best friends would call him a puncher.
Watch your heads!
Again, the heads banging together in close.
Right!
But if Dhami wanted to put on a good performance, he's not really doing it here. He's coming down to Melvin's level. You sense.
Right!
He's struggling to really impress Dhami here. It's a bit of a hiding to nothing job for him, isn't it, this one?
Yes, it is.
Melvin,
it's a tough one. You've got somebody who's a change of opponents. It's a hard one to get yourself up for. But you know, that's what the market's been champion. That's what you've got to do.
Right! Step back!
Maybe not a vintage crop of British welterweights at the moment.
Step back!
Which isn't to say that one of them won't develop into something a bit more useful.
Once you get out, let him go, Melvin.
But he's building a pretty big lead here, I would suggest, Dhami. As we get to the halfway point in the contest. And let's get the thoughts now of Barry McGuigan.
Yeah, it's a fairly messy affair, unfortunately. Melvin is tucking up and beginning to tire now. And he's beginning to hold on the inside, and Dhami doesn't like to fight up close. He likes to dominate with the jab, but because Melvin's fighting out of a closed up position, he's finding it very difficult to get through with his jab, and he's not being able to bang off those shots from the inside. Melvin needs to start working harder at the body if he has any chance of turning this around, but in my mind that Harry Dhami is beginning to take over at this stage, beginning to pull ahead.
Now, having just looked at Melvin in the corner there, you wonder how much more he's got left. He's breathing very, very heavily, and it looks like he's just on about a 200-meter sprint or something.
Yes, it is. So that's really where Dhami should, just take over, but start, hitting him with lots more punches. This is where he should start pulling away and looking a lot better than he is.
7th round. Punch economy of both of these two. Nothing really to write home about. Still those eyes holding up for Melvin, but there's a lot of bruising and swelling. Melvin, who started life as a light middleighweight, done that in fitness regime, Sent him all the way down to light welter, 1 stone down. Now back to welter for challenging this British title tonight.
Right! Step back.
He's quite happy to buy a bit of time, I think. Malcolm Melvin on the inside there, just holding on. I don't think he's had the preparation to really go 12 hard rounds here, and I think privately the camp would admit that.
Yes, I'm sure that's right, and probably, judging by how Dhami's not really looking that great, I bet Melvin wishes he did have a lot more time.
Hi, Melvin. What's that head, Melvin? Right!
Struggling to get combinations going, Dhami. Some of his work pretty ragged.
Yes, it is. His accuracy's not very good. His punches are not sharp, and the accuracy's not very good at all.
Oh, walked into a right hand there, Dhami. Just as well he's got a good chin, and that Melvin is not noted as a big hitter, because it landed absolutely flush.
Yes, he did. He really rocked the head of Dhami there. Dhami just walking onto that overhand right.
Against a concussive hitter, that just might have been a fight-ending moment. Again, Dhami caught with a left hand. It looked a bit of a slap.
But what this is showing is that Dhami's defense is not that tight.
You'd have to say he's making pretty heavy weather of this against the late substitute. Let's go backstage with Ed Robinson, who now has Billy Schwer with him.
Billy, you won British, European and Commonwealth titles. You sure tonight you're going to win the WBU title?
There's only going to be one winner. I'm very confident, very much looking forward to the fight. Can't wait to get in there and get it on.
What's going through your mind right now?
I feel great, I feel really relaxed, just thinking about what I've got to go and do in the ring there. Just box clever, be smart and not get too involved in a punch-up and just look good.
You're very experienced, aren't you, at this level, so...
Yeah, I've had a few fights now, so I should have the hang of it now, but this is a World Championship. Great to be in the big fights, very much looking forward to it.
Thank you.
That's still to come, and it's an absolute cracker. Certainly everybody in the trade eagerly awaiting it. That was the right hand, the fight in the ring from Malcolm Melvin. Bang!
What a good right hand as well. And, even though he hasn't much of a punch, the way it connected, it is a good job. Dhami has a good chin.
8th round, British Welterweight Championship being contested here. The gangling Harry Dhami from Gravesend in Kent, having a bit of an off night, but ahead on points here against Melvin.
Yes, he does look below form. Dhami just doesn't have any spark or snap, and again, Melvin catches him with a decent hook.
I think you're right what you said, Glenn. I'm sure he's thinking Malcolm Melvin. If only I had a bit longer to get ready for this. 5 days it was.
Well, 5 days you can't do anything really. You just got to hope he was in some sort of condition before that. But yeah, it could have been a different fight altogether.
Looking for those left hooks all the time, Melvin. It'd be some story if he did somehow score the breakthrough here.
Go, Melvin, let him go.
He's getting hit increasingly more, Dhami, as this goes on.
Well, he's maybe starting to believe in himself a little bit, Melvin, especially after the good shots in the last round. And he's just pushing forward more. Dhami needs to respond and needs to pick up his work rate.
Again, he left himself really open to the right hand, Dhami, but Melvin wasn't able to hit the jackpot that time. Dhami's work definitely getting more ragged in the last couple of rounds.
Yes, it is. There's not much evidence of that decent jab. You know, he's not getting that shot out. He's not getting the timing.
Let him go,
right.
Melvin. Let him go.
He put up a terrific performance, I thought, the night he won the title against Derek Roach as an underdog, a 3-1 underdog with the bookmakers, I think it was. Circumshield's come out for Dhami.
Come on.
I think he's probably a bit frustrated with himself.
Yes, that's often the case. If you're not getting your punches on and you start to miss and start to get hit, then you do get frustrated with yourself.
As he said, it's not a vintage renewal of the famous old championship, this one.
It's not normally when a fighter wins the title, you know, they're full of confidence. And, you know, it's a strange with Dhami. He's not like that. You know, he doesn't look like a guy who's just won a title and, you know, relishing the fact of defending it and looking good.
Not even Peter Mandelson and Max Clifford combined could put a spin on this one to turn it into a British welterweight classic, I'm afraid to tell you. Well, it's been a brave effort from Melvin.
Break!
Well, he's certainly got the better of this round. He's done more than Dhami.
And he looked very ordinary, the champion, in that round. Let's take a look at the British welterweight boxing scene. Adrian Stone has done a lot of his fighting at light middle, but he reckons he is a welterweight, so there he is, we reckon, at number 1. Jeff McCreesh, the former British champion, at 2. There's Dhami, who holds the title, 3. Neil Sinclair, promising Belfast fighter. Spencer McCracken likely to meet Dhami, should he come through this quite soon. And then a lot of other hopefuls down to Melvin at number 10.
Yes, so it is, you know, it's pretty lucky that he's getting this opportunity, but he's trying hard, Malcolm Melvin.
Paul Ingle, among those at ringside tonight, the IBF featherweight champion. Interesting to see if he fights Spurs again sometime down the line. Here's the 9th round. Dhami needs to pick this up a little. I just wonder if he's had a bit of a motivation problem for this fight.
Well, it looks like there is that problem. I mean, it's difficult when opponents drop out and you're changed, and then you haven't got an opponent that really puts that bit of fear in you to bring the best out of yourself. And I think this is probably the case with Dhami.
Because he's just lacked that edge. Face of Melvin's puffing up all the time. How much gas is there left? Another right hand from him, and the left hook too. I think Melvin, you know, might have nicked the last couple of rounds, possibly even.
Yeah, well, I certainly give him the last. He's doing better in this round. And he just gets through with these cupping shots as he falls in to Dhami, and Dhami hands right down, and you know, the accuracy is so bad in this fight.
It would be an absolute nightmare for Dhami if he was to somehow let his title slip away in these circumstances. But we've seen it time and again. You saw Nicky Booth coming in at 3 days' notice in the British and Commonwealth bantamweight rounds the other night against Tommy Waite.
Don't lean on, Melvin, don't lean on.
You'd think as we go in the last ladder round that it gets harder and harder for Melvin.
Both of them want to end the night with that belt around their waist. Named after Hugh Lowther, the 5th Earl of Lonsdale and first president of the National Sporting Club. Well, I can't believe how ragged
through with his jab. He's just cutting little punches inside, nothing of any great effect. And it's Dhami who's getting worse as the fight goes on, not Melvin.
Right!
Melvin may be even beginning to believe that he could get back into this on the scorecards. I had the gap before the last round as 2 points. You think Melvin won that last round?
I think he won the last round. He's just busier. He's just trying to do more. He's just trying to get off with shots. And I think you may be right. He's starting to believe in himself more. For me, my gap is quite a bit bigger, but I think he's trying to claw his way back and he's believing in himself.
Saw a couple of Melvin shots get in there. Look at that right hand, big looping one. Seemed to travel the entire length of the Metropolitan line before landing, but
yes, and there, the shots landed Melvin a lot more success. 55 to Dhami, 6 to the body. So Melvin, you're getting some success with those shots.
He's been looking like that for about 5 rounds now, and I think Pat Caldwell saying, come on, keep going. I know we came into this with limited ambition and we thought we'd try to rough him up, but you're doing pretty well. There's only another 3 rounds left. Black trunks, remember, of Dhami. There's Glenn's scorecard. You've got it wider than I have for Dhami.
Yes, I have. Kind of pulling behind, within the 10-8 round, really pulling quite a way behind on my card.
That's a good left hook again from Melvin. And again, the right hand this time. And all the time, Dhami now is missing a lot with that jab, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He just can't get the range right, can't get the sharpness, struggling to keep Melvin on the end of that jab. Dhami is very, very lucky. It's not a Colin Jones letting those shots go.
I think it might have been over by now if it
would have been long over by now.
Colin Jones involved in one of his famous fights with Kirkland Lang, the first one in this very ring. Lang dominant for 8 rounds, Jones taking him out in the 9th. He did it in the return as well. Those were 2 of the best fights for this title. This one, frankly, not in the same league.
Still game, still pushing forward. He is trying to really bring it up, isn't he? He's trying to dig deep.
He's fighting tired, very tired, and has been for a long time, I think. It's been a terrific effort from him. He's giving it everything. He knows it'll be his last chance to fight, I would think, at this level. Unless, of course, he wins.
He's trying so hard again in this round, pushing forward. And, when he does that, Dhami can't do a great deal.
Welcome, get out, come on.
Looks tired himself, Dhami, now.
He does, which is surprising. You'd think he'd be so much stronger and fitter and sharper going into the latter rounds, but he's tired and ragged.
And the fight's become a mess. And that's a good right hand, though, from Melvin. It's a problem for him that he's a bit of a pea-shooter puncher. I don't mean if you met him in the street and he hit you, you'd think he was a pea-shooter puncher, but we're talking about by the standards of professional boxers.
But still in close, he's getting his shots off. Dhami accuracy is really poor, and Melvin is just so game and trying so hard.
There's Pat Caldwell working the corner, dousing the water onto the very hot head, I should think, of Malcolm Melvin. Oh, he looks in some, well, not pain, just exhausted in there.
He's very, very tired, but isn't that, you've got to give a lot to him for fighting through the pain barrier, trying to pick it up. He knows, there's not long to the finish, and he's working so hard.
How have you got it now then, Glenn?
Well, I've got to get it close. I've still got Dhami 3 points ahead, but I've given Melvin the last 3 rounds.
I have it just by 1 to Dhami. But that can happen if you've only got to go 1 round different from you.
That's right.
You've got a 2-point turnaround on the scorecard. Sometimes explains the large differentials. Here's the 11th round. Some of these rounds have been pretty hard to score as well. Green trunks, Malcolm Melvin, bidding, remember, to become the oldest British welterweight champion ever. John Keane, the referee, has the only scorecard that matters in his back pocket. World-class official, John Keane. Shot, and he follows it up with a right to the head, Dhami. It's a bit more classy from him.
Well, it's the first time he's really tried anything that different, where he looks as if he's been thinking of something. Melvin's still in success with that overhand right. Dhami, the chin in the air again.
He's picked 1 or 2 holes in the Dhami defence, definitely, Melvin.
Back to work, back to work, back to work.
But it's not been a performance this to give sleepless nights to the other welterweight contenders, is it?
Right! No, it's not. I think on this sort of form there'll be a lot of guys queuing up for a shot at Harry Dhami.
Up to him to prove over the next few months that he's not a soft champion, providing he comes through tonight, of course.
Right! Step back. Step back. Step back on the right. Right! Over the top of that right hand now.
I think he's got the message about the use of the head, Melvin, since the point deduction.
Yes, I think he realised he had to do something like that to try and settle Dhami.
Right!
That's what he went to do.
Got him with 1 or 2 decent body shots in this round, Dhami.
Right!
But only 1 or 2.
He's done a little bit more in this round, Dhami, just trying to pick himself up a bit.
Last few seconds of the 11th round. I think that was a Dhami round. So it does look as if Dhami's on his way to retaining the title here, but that's about all you could say about it, isn't it, really?
Yes, it's not a memorable fight, and I'm sure Dhami wants to forget about it as soon as he gets this one over with.
Trying quite hard to forget it myself already, actually. There's no point pretending. I mean, people aren't daft, are they?
No, most certainly not. It's not a good fight, not a good performance from Harry Dhami. He really is struggling in this fight. I mean, there may be something behind it, but he looks very poor.
Well, everyone's entitled to the odd off night. He's been on a good run lately, to be fair to him. Dhami's beaten people like Derek Pritchard, heard about Howard Clark, Paul Dyer, Kevin McCarthy, O.J. Abraham, to the Southern Area title. All reasonable wins. Whether he can be a long-reigning British welterweight champion, where you'd have to say that's very much open to question. Last round here, last 3 minutes. Dhami, we think, ahead. for it a bit in the last round.
Well, he'll be glad he's at the final stages now, and he's trying to put a decent battle up here. He's coming in at just 6 short notice for 5 days, but he is game and he has tried, and when he sees that finishing line not far away.
Well, he got to the finishing line against Ross Hale, who was a big puncher as a light welterweight 5 years ago in the British title attempt. And even if he is beaten here, he'll have the pride of going home and saying to his family and friends, you know, twice in British title fights I wasn't disgraced.
No, he's certainly not disgraced here. He's made Harry Dhami look very, very ordinary.
Step right back. Step right back.
How has John Keane got it on his scorecard view under the referee?
Right.
I think the two fighters themselves will be a little frustrated, particularly Dhami, that it hasn't been a fight to get the fans on the edge of their seats. Sometimes it's just the way the styles mix.
Yes, you know, you can never really second guess it. You know, sometimes you think fights will blend well and they don't. You know, it's just one of those things with boxing.
Don't forget Billy Schwer against Colin Dunn coming up, or a version of the World Lightweight title, the WBU version. Eagerly anticipated all-British showdown. That's next. Three-quarters of a minute left. You think Dhami's done enough?
Yes, I think he's done enough. I think earlier in the fight, you know, with his jab, but you know, he's let it slip certainly in the later rounds.
Lost his way in the fight, really. Very good, persistent effort from Malcolm Melvin. Good combination shots from Melvin.
Well, he's definitely doing more in this last round. He's trying to, you know, find the punch, find the combinations that might swing it for him.
Well, I've got Dhami only a narrow winner of this, and Dhami does indeed retain his British welterweight title, but in far from convincing fashion. He was off form and laborious. It was a brave effort from Malcolm Melvin at 5 days' notice. And there's what the computer says, that Dhami landed 127 and Melvin 115, and that the challenger had a slightly better success rate. What was Malcolm Melvin saying to you there, Dan?
Similar thing, a couple of stone off. I'm not sure what he said.
Well, he probably had to really get a lot of weight off quick.
I think that's what he was saying. He maybe had to take a couple of stone off or do something like that to just to make the fight.
Well, he's heard the final bell anyway. Can take a lot of credit from the night. Dhami will be disappointed, but at least he still has his title and paydays down the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, referee John Keane has scored the contest for Melvin 110 points, for Dhami 118 points. Your winner, and still the British welterweight champion from Gravesend, Harry Dhami.
By the surprisingly large margin
And please show your
of 8 points on the referee scorecard. I think that flatters Dhami a little.
Malcolm Melvin. Presenting the championship belt.
Things could only get better for Harry Dhami, I suppose you could say. Barry McGuigan, what was that like?
It was a very sloppy performance by Harry Dhami. He just was not sharp tonight. He obviously underestimated Melvin. He expected to get him out of there, and it turned out to be a pretty difficult struggle, and I think the margin was much too wide.